And right now we are very excited because we have our good friend, 3 News contributor and the managing editor of Signal Cleveland, a new nonprofit newsroom. Mark Namick is on the set with us today. First, Mark, it's so good to see you.
Well, I'm glad
Welcome
to be
back.
here, even if you guys are wearing black.
I
It
know,
didn't
sorry.
feel very festive for my return, but thank you very much.
We're always happy to have you.
No, I'm happy to talk
You know that.
politics. When you said gloomy weather at the top of the show and foggy, I thought, are we talking politics or weather? Because if you're watching all those ads, some of that out there could feel that way.
We are here to talk about politics, one of your favorite things to chat about, some of the statewide issues that are on the ballot. We're seeing tons of ads, so there's a lot that's going on, a lot of information going at people right now. Issue 1 is one of those that's kind of sticking out to me as a little confusing, quite honestly. There's a lot of spin on this. This is a constitutional change for the state of Ohio. Can you explain both sides of this? Because it has to deal with bail. So it's legal lingo that a lot of people aren't familiar
bail
with.
reform. We all want to keep people that are potentially threats to the public safety in jail while they're awaiting a trial.
Right.
But does that get abused, right? And does it mean that people with money can get out of jail before their trial? So this would be a constitutional change that will require judges to very much look at the safety issue. Now, that's what opponents say is needed. I mean, proponents say is needed. The opponents say we already have laws on the books that allow judges to keep unsafe people from going into the public while they await trial. And some say that this will take away the ability for the Supreme Court and others to rule in these cases. So let me just wrap up by saying on this, it's about bail reform. We have a lot of bail reforms in place that this could harm, according to the opponents. We are already talking about getting people out of jail. They shouldn't be there because they don't have money.
Right.
And there's already stuff on the books to keep people off the streets if they're a potential threat. And this is a little bit of a reaction there. You mentioned spin. There is some spin. People look at this as a way to maybe motivate and move people to the polls, because we all are for safety, but I think there's more to look at. This has not been endorsed by some of the major newspapers around the state because they say it's a problem or a solution in search of a problem.
Wow. Okay, so now we want to talk about issue 2, which is a state constitution change that would bar Ohio communities from allowing legal non-citizens to vote in local elections.
Also put in by the Republicans, so this is you always got to consider this. This is a big change to the Constitution. When you're changing the Constitution, that's a big law. This is in response to Yellow Springs outside of Dayton that had about 30 legal non-citizens that they wanted to vote on local issues. That council passed a law to say, let's let them vote. The Ohio Secretary of State stepped in and said, you can't do that, case closed. But they've said, well, we need to enshrine this in so this never happens. But it really wasn't happening. And there is some debate on this issue about, well, why can't a local community at least have a non-binding referendum that involves citizens who have are not legal citizens, or I mean, are not citizens, but are legal residents here, to at least give a voice, non-binding. And that's happening in some other places of the country. There's concerns that this constitutional amendment would even take that ability out.
Gotcha.
Wow.
So
So much
a lot
confusion.
going on.
You really have to buckle down and read.
And I know
it
is a little bit, the full text of both of these are there, but I would look to some of the rating agencies out there that have looked at this, the bar associations, and the editorial boards that have taken the time to dig deep into this.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Mark. We'll see you again coming up at 5 o'clock for What's Now.
Mark, thanks.
Yeah.